My favorite modification slash maintenance item I've done so far is new shifter bushings. So before I don't know if I really filmed it, but yeah, this is in fifth gear right now, and the shifter is not wiggling back and forth. Fourth gear, third gear. So I bought a Marlin Crawler shifter bushings. The shifter is super tight. I mean, look at that. It is very, very nice. The shifter feels great. This is a snow drive update on the 2000 4Runner SR5 4x4 with a 5-speed manual that I bought about a month ago. And I did a lot of work on it. The Tundra brake upgrade was one of the first things I did. The truck needed new front brakes entirely, so instead of replacing them with the rotors that warp, I just bought a StopTech kit with the WL casting calipers, and the rotors are the same diameter overall, but they're just thicker for better cooling. So the brakes feel really good. The rear drums were good, they just needed to be adjusted, so now they're properly adjusted. But the truck stops really well, ABS is working great. We'll check the brakes. That's really hard on the brakes, and we're just getting into ABS there. I do get a little squeal sometimes. I don't know if it's power steering. I might need top-off power steering fluid, but it's very uncommon. Tires are still the same. They're Continental Van Contact winter tires, and they're good. They're good in the snow. They're load range E, so I'm able to air them down quite a bit. They are good in the snow, but they are not very good on ice. They're a pretty, I would say they're like a mild snow tire, which I would really prefer like a very aggressive snow tire, like a Blizzak or a Nokian or something else. Even like the newer Continental, the Viking Contact tire is more aggressive than these. The Van Contacts come off like Sprinter vans and stuff. They were a really good deal, so that's why I bought them. I replaced the airbox, which had a hole in it, just the front part of the airbox, and then the rubber hoses. The middle silencer section is the same. New mass airflow sensor. I tried cleaning the other one and it made no difference, so I bought a new mass airflow sensor. New throttle position sensor. I'm gonna do new O2 sensors. I'll start with the upstream one and then do the downstream one if I feel like it needs it. I did LED reverse lights. I didn't want to do a bunch of LEDs on the outside. I just don't think it looks right for the era that this car is from. But reverse lights, you know, without a backup camera or anything, having bright reverse lights is worth it. Overall, the truck runs really good. The power feels like it's all there. It shifts well. It goes in and out of four-wheel drive super easily. There's no grinding, you know, of the shifter, of the gearbox, of the transfer case. Everything feels good. I finally dialed in my tire pressures. I'm running about 28, 29 in the back, or maybe lower. Probably running about 27 in the back and then 29 up front. I noticed that if I went too low up front, there was a shimmy in the steering wheel at about 60 miles an hour. I'm using the OBD-Link MX Plus to have these gauges here on my phone. It's really convenient. I bought it for the BRZ, but it works with basically every car. I have yet to find a vehicle that it doesn't work with, and when I plugged it into this truck, it just downloaded the information for this vehicle, and it can read codes, it can delete codes, it can see all the PID values and everything. Basically anything that goes through the CAN bus it can read, and display here. So absolute throttle position, IAC duty cycle, which was helpful when I was troubleshooting the throttle body and the IAC. Fuel trims, RPM, air intake temperature. I mean, and there's an endless amount of gauges you can put on this thing. Mass airflow rate, ignition advance, coolant temperature. There's no oil temperature, but the truck doesn't have that. I'm not thrilled with these winter tires, but they do get the job done. For how much I paid for them, they're good, but I wouldn't recommend them to somebody looking for winter tires. They are dedicated winter, but they're good in the snow, but they're not so great on the ice, which I see a lot of ice. Like right now they're fine, and if I hit the brakes, they will stop us pretty effectively. I'll probably just run them into the summer and then buy better winter tires next winter. I'm kind of hesitant to even bring this up, but there were comments on another 4Runner video about the speed in which I was driving on snow-covered roads. But you have to understand, out here in the western United States, the speed limits are very high. You're covering vast distances, and you know, you should never drive faster than conditions allow, which is what I was doing in that video. I was driving to what conditions allow. I think I was on a road with a 65 or 70 mile an hour speed limit, and I was doing 50 for most of the time, which is where we are now. This is a different road. The speed limit out here is probably 65 or 70, and we're doing, you know, 50, 55 miles an hour. I'm not ever out of control. I'm not ever near the limit. Snow is very different everywhere you go, and maybe they have you know, very wet, heavy snow, which is really difficult to travel in. You know, wet, heavy snow is slippery. It's hard for your tires to deal with. The snow out here mostly is really dry and powdery, and it gets really cold, so we do get a lot of ice. But you're able to drive, you know, as fast as conditions allow, and if you're not comfortable doing that, then, you know, you drive to your ability, and really that's that. The other thing you'll see me do in that video is periodically check my braking power to see how much grip I have and how quickly I can stop. You know, I'll turn the wheel a little bit and see how much I, you know, start to slide, and if I can turn and swerve. I mean, this is not a fast truck by any means. It's not. I'd have to put in effort to speed. If there were more people out here, I'd be getting past and letting people by, which I did do in that video, but I ended up cutting out. Yeah, the snow conditions that we get here are like, they're near, they're alpine conditions. It's almost like a Nordic type of winter. We're at a very high elevation, and it gets super cold, and it's relatively dry. That wet, you know, slushy, heavy snow is a lot more difficult to deal with than this dry, powdery, very cold snow. See, speed limit is 70 miles an hour. I'm doing 52. I mean, we're out in the middle of nowhere. There's literally nothing here. There's not a street light or gas station. You know, you're covering these huge distances. If I was just to go 30 miles an hour, it's just because there's snow on the ground and that's how fast someone on the internet thinks I should be driving. You know, that's crazy. So we're climbing right now. And that was another thing in that video, is you can't tell when I was climbing mountain passes and going down hills, and that obviously affects your speed and how fast you can go safely. You know, if I was to hit the brakes now, I could stop on a dime because I'm going up a very steep hill. Now this is a dangerous section of road here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some tractor trailers spun out. Well, we're supposed to get a ton of snow over the next few days, so I will try to bring some deep snow 4Runner content, and then definitely some BRZ content. Let's do a brake check. Oh yeah, there's grip. That is sand that you see on the road. Luckily, they do not salt the roads here, which is how this 4Runner survived without rust at 25 years old. Let me go to 4 low before I get stuck. Wow, we just sank.